Yeah, so before I take questions, Michael Bunting had surgery to remove his appendix yesterday. Um, so he'll be out here for the next little while. I don't know the time frame at this point, but that's that.
Who's in net?
Ned.
Is Boko available?
Boko is available.
Transaction was made yesterday with Matt Nieto. Just what's been your assessment of this season, including overcoming a pretty difficult challenge, the off-season surgery?
Yeah, I think Neitz has been an unbelievable teammate. He brings it every single day. As you guys know, the road to get back to playing was an extremely difficult one, and he did an amazing job to get himself back to playing condition. I think that was a tough challenge for him in and of itself. And I think as far as performance is concerned, I think it's been up and down. I think he's had his moments when he's been really good for us, and I think the biggest area he helps us is obviously playing in a checking capacity on that line, and then on the penalty kill. Those were the two areas where the expectation is high, and that's the value that he brings to the group. And so these decisions are never easy, but he's an unbelievable guy. He's been an incredible teammate for those guys. I know he's a popular guy in the room, and we'll see what happens at 2:00. But that's been my experience with Neitz. I've got a ton of respect for him as a person, as a pro. He's a great teammate.
Coach, Cookie's playing in his 500th game tonight, and I feel like we talk about how that's a milestone you really have to earn, playing a full game through the grind of a season. How much more is that amplified with him, with the way he plays and just, sacrificing the body every single time he goes out there?
Well, it's hard to play 500 games in this league, no matter how you play. But the way he plays, he puts himself in harm's way a lot, and so he literally pays a price to help us win. The way he blocks shots, his willingness, his eagerness, his enthusiasm to block shots, his physical play. He does a lot of those thankless jobs, for me that never really show up on the score sheet. They're hard to quantify with analytics, but they add up to winning. And that's the type of guy that he is. I know he's a popular guy in the room. His teammates have a ton of respect for what he brings, but he pays a price to help us win for sure.
Mike, at 37, Sidney Crosby is still among the leaders among forwards that puck battles won. What have you observed about him that allows him to go into those battles and come away with the puck? And at least in theory, like when your star player is that kind of attitude, what kind of impact can that have on the rest of the group?
Well, I think it has a huge impact. I think Sid has been the standard here for his whole tenure. And what I mean by that is, the standard being what the expectation is when you put a Penguins jersey over your head. And, there might be, at the end of the day, hockey boils down to one-on-one battles in its purest form. And, he's excelled at it for close to 20 years. I think it starts with a mindset or an attitude. It takes a level of courage. And then there's a talent involved also. I mean, he's got a low center of gravity. He protects pucks as well as anybody that I've ever seen play the game. I don't think anybody creates offense out of traffic areas from underneath the hash marks or below the goal line better than Sid. The only other guy I could think of that might be in the same category is Peter Forsberg. He was a guy that I think had that capability. Phil, you probably
Thinking the same guy.
yeah. He's Peter Forsberg was incredible in traffic, and and Sid is Sid's the best player I've ever seen, and and Peter Forsberg might be the other guy that comes to mind in that category. But it's a combination of competitive spirit with talent, and you need to have both to win puck battles. And like I said, I don't think there's anybody in the game that's better at creating offense out of traffic and battle areas than Sid. He thrives in that environment.
With Bunting sidelined, even with Boko coming back, do you anticipate a forward recall coming?
Possibly.
What are you losing with not having Bunting, not just on the ice, but kind of the energy that he seems to bring around the group?
Yeah, Bunce is, he's a competitive guy. He goes to the battle areas. He has an uncanny ability to score, in particular on the power play. He hasn't scored as much lately, but, he's just a competitive guy that goes to the net front. He plays in the battle areas. He makes it hard on our opponents in a number of different ways. He also has an uncanny ability to irritate people out there. And that helps the group. I think when you have players like that, I think it drags us into the fight, and that's an important aspect of becoming a team and making sure that we're invested emotionally into the game. And he's one of those guys.